Wait on a few people here to join us. So if this is your first time on Blab, basically it's a new platform where you're able to kind of come together and have conversation. And so um, um, one of the things that you can do is they've added something new since I last been on here. But over to the top left of your screen, there's a thing that says "Tell a Little Bird." And so if you were to click that, then you would be able to let all of your Twitter followers know that you are here, and then maybe they might want to join. And then if it says tell your aunt, it looks like that's Facebook. So if you click that, you could actually share a post to your Facebook timeline and let your Facebook followers know that you're here. So maybe you've got people in your circle that that want to talk stocks, maybe. And so that's a good thing for you to do. You can just click that, and they would and your timeline or your Twitter page would post to your Twitter page, let them know that you're here talking about stocks today. Also, what Blab is it gives us like 4 different seats. Right now, you probably only see one. It's called an open seat. And so anybody that might want to join us and go live and show your face and talk to us, you can do that by clicking open seat, and then it'll bring your cam up and you will go live. Above me, you'll see my name and my Twitter handle. If you're not following me, you could click there, and then you could actually start to follow me. And then if you were in an open seat, I could start to follow you as well. And then if you like some of the stuff that I'm saying, you could always give me props just by clicking on my name or clicking on my screen, and the little hands will start going up, and I can get some hands. So what I had to do this week is we had originally scheduled this for 9 o'clock. I had to push it back to 8 o'clock, only because I've got something coming up at 9:30, which I really, really wanted to join. So I had to adjust the timing here for this meeting. So I apologize for those that were like, "Oh wow, you started already," or something like that. I just I had to change the time just so that I could make my other appointment. So that happens. But hey, it's free, so it shouldn't be a big deal to everybody. But that's kind of what happened. So hey, Mary, thanks for joining. I see Zoe's here. Fantastic. Oh, thanks for coming, brother. Hey, Mary, how are you?
Great.
Fantastic. We got somebody else. Who's this? Danielle Boost. Hey, Danielle, how are you? Thanks for joining. Okay, you got Let's Face It Radio, achievegreatness.com. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and follow you, Danielle. You look like you're a cool person to know. So what I'm doing now, guys, and you guys can do the same thing. I'm letting up my followers know where I'm at, and this is a cool way for you to build your following as well, right? You kind of let everybody know what you're doing, and you're following to jump on and see that you're a real live person, because we got all this social media where everybody's behind a computer. Well, it's a good way for you to actually let people know that you're real. So again, if this is your first time on Blab, up to the top left, there's a place that says Tell a Little Bird. If you click that, that'll actually send a post out to your Twitter link, and it'll let them know that, let your followers know that you're here and they might want to join us as well. If you click Tell Your Aunt, that's a new link on Blab. It's going to do a post to Facebook and let your Facebook following know that you are here. And then as well, and then Zoe just joined. So if I click on Joe like I'm doing now, give him a couple of props, let him know we appreciate him joining us today. But if you wanted to follow either one of us, you can just go above our names at the top, and then you could just click follow, and you can follow us as well. One other thing that I learned as well is that if you had a question as we're talking, you can just click backslash or /Q or something. It's going to pop up as a question, because sometimes we're just kind of talking about everything. We're just kind of going, and that'll let us know that you actually had a question. So you can feel free to ask questions along the way. Thank you, Rob, for tweeting and letting people know that you're here with us today. How are you today, sir? I think you were here with us last week, so you must have had a good time. You joined us again. Fantastic. So today, really want to kind of just, we had three stocks that we were going to talk about, and I'm not quite sure if there's anything. Where's my phone at? If there's anything in particular that you guys may have wanted to talk about today. But one of the stocks that came up, which I thought was pretty interesting, was Sprint. So somebody wanted to talk about Sprint. Now, I'm gonna kind of just throw it out there. Anybody got any thoughts about Sprint, the company? Obviously, the telemarketing company. What is this? What am I launching? Anybody got any thoughts about Sprint? Because that was one of the stocks that someone requested that we talk about today. And so, in case you guys don't know, I try to put a question out, like a week in advance to get you guys' opinion on what tickers you might want to talk about. Because obviously, this is Ticker Tuesday Stock Talk. So we want to kind of just, some things that you might be looking at, some things that you got some questions about, some things that you like for us to discuss and give you our opinion about, some things that you want to give your opinion about. That's kind of what it's all about. Hey, Paris, thanks for joining. So we want to talk about Sprint today. And so, Zoe, what I was thinking was that I think that you are more of the technical analyst and I'm more of the fundamental analyst. So I thought it'd be good if we, tackle it maybe from that angle. You might hit it from the technical standpoint, and I might try to hit it from the fundamental standpoint. And the reason why I say that, I think we're both maybe long-term investors in some of our positions, short-term in some of the other ones. But that may help people, depending on what type of investor that they are, to really try to make, to really make some decisions or to think about what it is that they got going on. Thanks so much, Paris, for sharing. Hey, Omari, thanks for joining. So did you get a chance to look at any of the stocks that? Thanks so much, Danielle, for sharing that we're going to look at today, Zoe?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool.
I hear my phone going off too. It's in the other room. I feel like going to get it. Matter of fact, I'm going to go get it. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
All right, go ahead.
All right. Hey, you're testing? What are you testing? 1, 2, 3. So, guys, I'm back. Anybody that might want to jump into, hey, Nakia, thanks for joining. Anybody that might want to, we got like these 2 open seats. So I know most of the time it's just me and Zoe that's just kind of just talking. But feel free to jump in the seat. Share your thoughts. Have a good time with this. I know some of you guys are like, I don't like being on TV. I don't want to be on the camera and all that good stuff. But hey, you might, you might meet some new friends. That's what it's all about. So Zoe, Sprint, my good friend, any thoughts on Sprint from a technical standpoint? Let's start there.
All right. From a technical standpoint, let's see. I do not like the chart. But we'll give it a go. I see if we're looking at the daily chart, it's actually is at its 50-day, 200-day moving average. If anybody kind of understand what that means. But it's basically trying to form a cross on trying to decide if it want to go back into a bear state or if it want to come back up into a bull state. Right now it's trading sideways. Looking at a daily chart, it's trading sideways, so it seems like it reached its resistance line around, let's say, $5.40. It didn't reach it that much, but seems like it's on the verge of actually going back down. I mean, it's a little below 50 on the RSI, so I think maybe depending on how the stock acts tomorrow, it may be another down day, maybe a big down day. So it's just looking at it from a daily standpoint, from a technical time frame. So if it falls below 50, I think it's going to be in trouble. In more trouble.
Even more trouble. Yeah. So they asked, is there much volume, though? Thanks for the question.
Volume is close to 50 million range. That's what the volume was today. Today it closed down 34 cent. So that was a big 7% down day. It may, yeah. it's a little choppy. So I mean, for those long term, I wouldn't advise to get in the stock right now. Like I said, because it has reached its resistance point at one point, so it looks like it's about to go back down to a support level. And for those that's looking to play it from that support level, just to try to gain a couple points from it, may wait a little while. But that's my standpoint from a technical.
What about this though? How long has this decline? When did this decline kind of start for Sprint? If everybody, I don't know if everybody's looking at a chart. I know you said it looks kind of choppy. Thanks for joining, Amari. You can definitely jump in the hot seat with us, man. I know we got some other people might join. Feel free to jump into the seat if you like. Hey, Spy Gadget Rentals. I don't know if that's Amari or not, but thanks for joining. Oh, Spy Gadget Rentals is joining in. That's probably Amari. Monty here. Nope, I don't know. Hey, how are you?
Hey, what's happening?
What's going on? Who is this? Is this? Hey, how are you?
Spy Gadgets, Monty Henry.
Okay, what's going on, Monty? How are you?
You guys pretty good. You guys like Sprint?
No.
Well, why don't you sell puts? You're selling puts on Sprint then, right?
Yeah, well, we're talking about Sprint, so so quite possibly we could be doing prints, and so I'm glad you brought that up, because if we don't like it, what we're doing is just talking about the stock right now. Of course, if we don't like it, we could be making money up or down on the stock. We understand that, but not everybody understands that. So we're trying to bring more awareness to that as well.
Of course. No, I thought if you were if you didn't like the upside, then obviously you want to take a position on the downside, right?
Well, yeah, you could do that. I mean, that's if you want to take a position. I mean, if we look at Sprint, we say right now it's at $4.51 a share. Are we saying that there's a lot of downside? Is there still a lot of downside potential? We saw that back in 2013 when it started to decline, it was trading as high as 1147. So has the downside kind of settled? Are we looking at a sideways movement for Sprint for quite some time? It's been in this sideways pattern since the beginning of 2014. So yeah, you definitely could take we're looking at support. I mean, actually resistance around $5, support around $3.50. We could definitely take you can definitely take a short on it, but is this really a stock that you want to trade right now? I don't know.
Well, I think you got to be careful. Some good news that I heard today was based around Sprint's infrastructure. It seems like they put a lot of money into their infrastructure, and even though they missed the opportunity to consolidate and become a larger force in the industry, I think they kind of missed the boat on that one. But it looks like they put enough money into the infrastructure whereby they can at least boast that when you do get on their network, you're going to be able to do some high-speed connectivity. So, no, serious.
I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the comments.
Oh, okay. What is it? What Sprint?
$2 a share last year.
Okay.
Sometime. So
would buy it out.
So here's the question then, Mr. Henry. It's like
Carlos Slim. Yeah.
So here's the question, Mr. Henry. So are you a believer in Sprint? And when you say that they that their infrastructure has been rebuilt, are you a believer in Sprint at all?
No, I wouldn't put it. I wouldn't put any money in Sprint. No, when somebody says don't try to catch a falling knife, And as far as
I can hear you. Okay, you hear me? Look like you're moving around a little bit.
Yeah, I am looking for my cat. I'm taking him for a walk, and he decided to. Look at that. he decided to go without me.
Okay.
So, yeah, somebody said, don't bother trying to catch a falling knife. And as far as I can tell, Sprint needs to do something fast and in a hurry. Only, you know, so I'm a long-term player, you know. I don't put my money into nothing that look like it's falling apart. I can't buy into the Sprint story right now.
So here's my take on Sprint, man. All right, so yeah, I'm glad that you brought that up. Omari, you said, you know, maybe it was a possible buyout, and that's quite possibly could be true. You know, we know that Sprint and Sprint, I guess it was Sprint and T-Mobile had that they were trying to go after you know, Metro PCS at the time, and I guess T-Mobile made that work. We also know that Sprint was a big last year in the finals of the NBA. Sprint was a big promoter, and they were trying to buy people to become customers. In other words, we'll buy you out of your contract in order for you to become customers. But that didn't work. It doesn't seem like. Sprint has had a hard time making money. They've been losing money hand over fist for the past 3 years. They haven't found a way to make money. And so I don't know how spending more money is going to help you make more money. Then you have to think about, well, Sprint, you know, what really is the catalyst for them? They're a cell phone company. So they got to have more subscribers. The more subscribers that they have, the more money that they make. Well, when I look at Sprint, I say, okay, you got Verizon, you got to compete against. You got AT&T, you got to compete against. And then you're competing against T-Mobile now, who just picked up more subscribers by buying out Metro PCS. So where does that leave Sprint?
Exactly.
So, I mean, you know, they might be selling down the $4 range, but somebody brought it up for us to talk about. So I said, we'll talk about it. But I'm not a believer in Sprint at all. You know, I'm of the mindset. I'm with Omari that they may be putting themselves in a position where they may actually be buying out, or maybe being bought out, or they'll be merging with some company at some point. But I'm definitely not buying it. So.
Well, what about the short interest? Anybody looking at the short interest?
Well, I'm trying to compete. Oh, yeah, I'm supposed to be looking at fundamentals. I'm sorry. You got me. Oh, Lord. Hey, you got me on. I'm having a good time. All right, I'm sorry. Let me look at the short interest. But yeah, so somebody just asked, yes, the struggle is real, huh? So Kirby Couture just said that they're trying to compete on price while trying to build a network. Let me see if I can find this real quick. All right, so I don't know who asked us to look at Sprint, but once I saw that, I was like, oh Lord, this is gonna be a good one to talk about, because I already knew what my thoughts were on the Sprint. And again, these are just opinions, guys. Oh look, Sprint lost deeper than expected. That's the first thing that came up on the headline. These are just kind of opinions, but hopefully it helps you guys to kind of look at things that you might be interested in investing in, get a different viewpoint, and you know, hopefully help to give you a more holistic approach to whatever position that you're looking at, and however it is that you might be investing. So that's why we come here and we talk. Oh, he jumped. Okay, that's why we come here and we talk. That's why we come here and we talk about stocks, whatever. He said, how about Disney with the Star Wars movie coming out? Hey, congratulations, I guess. How are you? Thanks for joining. They're not building a network. That was a problem. T-Mobile built the network. Hey, fantastic. That's just some good stuff. All right, so he might have just dropped off. So anyway, so those are our thoughts on Sprint, man. I definitely believe that there is a I will buy Enron before I buy Sprint. Oh Lord. I definitely believe that there's more downside potential than downside risk and upside potential with Sprint. If I were to play Sprint, I would be playing it to lose. In other words, I would be doing a put on it, but I'm not interested in Sprint at all. I think there's a whole bunch of sideways consolidation. They have a lot of pressure to keep them from going up, and they got a little bit of support to keep them from going down. I think $4 a share is about good for Sprint right about now. And, you know, I'm staying away. But, you know, you might be interested in that. And this is just to have conversation and share what I would do. But I'm not interested in Sprint at all. But that was good. That was a good, fun time for us. All right. So we actually have We actually have two more stocks that we will move into. I thank you guys for participating. Again, you can always just click tell a little bird up to the top left, and that'll tweet out to your followers that you're here with us, and maybe they want to join. Also, there's a new button on Blab. It says "Tell Your Aunt." That's going to actually post to Facebook, so your group, your people on Facebook will know that you're here, and maybe they'll want to join. Above me, if you wanted to follow me and the things that I'm doing, you just click above me and click follow. And then also the same thing for Zoe. If you're not following him, not friends with him on Twitter, right above his name, you just click the little button, and that'll let him go. So Zoe, right now I'm beating you in props, by the way. So I can't. So we had a special request to talk about MRO, which is Marathon, I believe. And so again, Zoe, if you wanted to kind of hit it from a technical standpoint, I know there's a lot of technical analysts here on the side chat with us, and I'll try to hit it from a basic fundamental level as well. So Marathon, I think I know someone asked me about this twice. I think that was you, Paris. So Paris, just to kind of give you an idea, man. One of the first things I look at, me personally, is I look to see how their profitability is, and I try to understand what that really means, because we know that oil has been struggling for a little while. I'm a big believer in oil coming back. It's just a matter of which companies that have something to do with oil do I really believe in. And so when I looked at Marathon prior to this, let's just say this crash in oil prices and things like that, the oversupply of oil, which is causing them to lay people off, to really undercut their profitability because they got to sell oil for less. I saw that they had been doing fairly well from a bottom line perspective. In other words, bringing out income, but they had started to decline in their sales for the past 3 years. And so when I looked at that, I said, okay, well, that was from the last 3 years. And I looked actually at the last 4 quarters, and I saw that they've really been struggling. They've been on decline from a sales standpoint for the past 4 quarters. In the last 2 quarters, they have actually lost money. And now I can understand that because of the whole sector of oil. So one of the things that I talk about in our class Stock 101 is to look at sentimental analysis, which is really looking at the sector, looking at how the industry or the sector is performing. And if the whole sector is down, then pretty much every company that's related to that sector will probably be down. And then you kind of have to figure out, okay, well, who do I believe is actually coming back? Who I think is going to make the strongest return if me personally, I'm a believer that oil isn't going anywhere. And I don't believe that oil is going anywhere. So you're asking, is this the time to buy when they're down? Well, that's what we have the charts for, to tell us if it's a good time to buy. So we can kind of look at that from a technical standpoint and kind of give us your ideas on that, on the technical analysis of it, Zoe.
Yeah, looking at a daily chart, it's been doing pretty good.
Really? Hold on a second. How do I do that, Rob? I can change the title. How do I do that? What do I click at? All right, you told me some new stuff here. I saw that. Oh, hold on. Okay, all right. Let me see. Can I do it here? Let's see. How do I type it? I see it. So what are we talking about? MRO. Yeah. Okay, hold on a second. Oh, okay. Okay. Let's see if that works. Yeah. Okay. All right, go ahead, Zoe. Okay.
Like a kid in a candy store. Yeah. For MRO Marathon, from a daily standpoint, it's been pretty good the last couple of the last month actually. It's been trading above its 50-day moving average. But the 200-day moving average is still above the 50-day. So even though the nice little gain that it's been doing right now, looking at a long-term, I think it's going to actually go down a little lower. I think even though the market is moving right now, oil as a sector is still not doing pretty good. So I'm thinking the stock is going to actually trickle down some more, but who knows? That's just from a technical standpoint. So we're just waiting to see exactly what the charts, tell us. But right now, that's kind of looking at what it's telling us now from a long-term monthly standpoint. It looked like it's maybe at resistance, and it may be, on the RSI levels, and it may be going back down. So.
Oh man, that's a good. So let me ask you this. I think we have Paris. You were asking about this, man. So if we're saying that, hey, it hit this resistance level, it's testing resistance right now. We've seen that it's making, trying to make a momentum shift. Well, we might start seeing some sideways consolidation here. Where would you feel comfortable? Oh, what? Really? I don't know. So anyway, where would you feel comfortable? Oh, thanks for tweeting, Rob. Thanks for tweeting new image. I thought it was on the top left. I know it is for me, but anyway. So Paris, where would you feel comfortable if you were a believer in oil, long run, you're a believer in marathon? Where would you actually feel comfortable buying the stock at? At what price would you feel comfortable buying it at right now? See, and the reason why I asked that is because we could say that I'm a big believer of trying to get it for the best price. I mean, I'm a bargain shopper, so I want to try my best to get it at the best price that I can, so that I can get the most profitability as possible if it goes the direction that I believe it to go. So if that's the case, looking at the chart right now, and I'm pretty sure you've looked at it, where would you say, okay, well, I feel pretty comfortable buying it, let's just say this range, from what range to what range? Zoe didn't turn his camera off. I still see him. I don't know what happened.
And just let me make a point too. Also with me, I usually buy breakouts. So, but that's just me looking at it from a breakout standpoint when I'm looking at technicals of a chart. So the key is to buy low, sell high, but you just don't know sometimes how low it may go. So sometimes you don't want to get into that trap. So that's just a FYI from.
So you said 1340 to 1630. Where that 1340 number come from? 1340 to.
Yeah, I don't see that either.
All right, so your 1340 number, I'm not quite sure where that came from. I thought that. Are you thinking that it's going to go even lower? Quite possibly could go lower than. Okay, just a guess. So are you thinking that it could quite possibly go lower than this 52-week low? Because if you're saying 1340 to 1630, then you're actually believing that it's actually quite possibly could be going lower as well, right? Hey, how you doing today, both? Yeah, it pays a dividend. I'll talk about that in a second. The dividend. People talk about that so much. So I think that you're in a. Yeah, I mean, I would agree with you, Paris. I think you're in the right ballpark. I would probably go a little bit. My range would probably be a little bit higher or smaller. You got a wide range there, so you're talking about a $3 spread in your range. Yeah, I am a dividend guy, but I don't. So my range would be small. I'd probably put it in a $2 spread or something like that, probably from 14 to 16. But right about the same thing. So which puts me right around 15, where I feel comfortable getting it. So this dividend thing, guys, like it's great. Like so many people focus on the dividend, and I'm just. I'll say this again, like it's great when the market is going down and you're still getting paid a dividend, getting something back for your return, but we don't invest for a dividend. You invest for appreciation. The dividend is great, and then if you have a dividend that's paying you and the stock is moving up and getting your appreciation, that's even better. That's double for your money. But when people say, hey, I'm going to invest in this, and one of the main reasons why they're going to invest in it is because of a dividend, I'm like, have you even looked at the stock, looked at the chart, and determine whether it's going to move in the direction for which you are investing in it? Whether it's you plan it to the downside or you plan it to the upside, or are you just going to invest in a sideways stock that doesn't do anything and just pays you a dividend over the long term? And you may be in that position in life where you can, you've got enough money that just getting paid a dividend it works for you, but quite honestly, guys, if you just, if the dividend was so important, then you wouldn't have invested in Google. You wouldn't have invested in Tesla or something like that. You wouldn't invest in Netflix. You wouldn't invest in Facebook if the dividend is so important to you. So it does have merit. I'm not saying that it doesn't, but don't let that be your only reason for investing in something or considering investing something just because it pays a dividend. There are some people that say, I won't invest in anything unless it pays a dividend, and that's fine. But the focus shouldn't be on the dividend. The focus should be on the asset to see whether you feel comfortable in the movement of the asset to move in the direction for which you are playing, whether that be up or down, and that you can get, that you can generate some sizable returns for your investment. The dividend is just icing on the cake. So that's all I gotta say about that. That's just my opinion. But obviously you have different types of investors that focus on different things. But in my opinion, you're really trying to get something that the asset is going to grow. That's how you get your money to grow. So anyway, so that's my thought. That's my thought on that. Now to kind of back that up, I usually am a guy that I only invest in things long term that have a dividend, and typically I'll play something short term that it doesn't matter whether they have a dividend or not. So yeah, so cool. That's kind of my thoughts on that. Will raising interest rates hurt oil stocks?
I don't think so.
I don't think that's going to have any. I don't think that's going to hurt oil stocks at all. I know, right?
Hey, I thought it was going to be on, but apparently I got to do some more things with this blab to put my profile picture up.
You got a profile pic on your Twitter?
Yeah, I got it on my Twitter, but I don't know why it didn't come over. So I still got some more things to do.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to get you hooked up. So yeah, to answer your question, I think that's Carl. I don't believe that it's going to have any negative effect on oil. I think that oil has already taken enough of a hit that raising interest rates, are not really going to be the determining factor on the direction that oil moves. I feel that I believe oil is kind of hit its ground floor. I believe it's settling. I believe that as we go through this next year of turmoil and volatility, that oil will be a good play. Same way I feel like gold, same thing. I think precious metals are going to be a good play for those that are in the precious metals. What I try to look for typically is something that's already taken a beating. It has already been beat down to a point where it has nowhere to go but up, and that is a necessity. And I see oil as a necessity. I see precious metals as a defensive play and a necessity as well. So I really believe that they've already taken the brunt of their punishment. And I would venture to say my belief is that tech is going to be the next next one to take some punishment over the next year or so. So because they're charging at large multiples. Okay, cool. So you're in the energy and oil. That's cool. So you feeling pretty good about energy right now. They had a pretty good day today in the energy sector. So these are things that that when volatility happens, people start to invest in things that are necessary. Energy is necessary. Oil is necessary. Yeah. Gold is precious metals are necessary. So defense is necessary. So these are things that people tend to kind of, these money managers who have the big money, who aren't going to tell you to go in cash. They're going to look to put their money somewhere else, and typically they'll move it to places where that still has some upside potential.
Yeah, and also looking at one of the inverses dealing with oil, it's coming back to a support level, and it's a possibility that it could break that support level. So looking at the sector of oil, like you said, it might be bottoming out, and it should be making a rebound pretty soon. So just a FYI on that. And for anybody who's wondering what stock symbol That's DWTI.
Beating that computer. That's what I'm talking about. DWTI, fantastic. So hopefully you guys are enjoying this stuff. I know we got some pretty seasoned investors here with us today. Who are you using to handle your investment transactions? Can you recommend a company? We actually are going to be talking about that in not next week, but in 2 weeks, I believe. So just to give you a heads up, we're starting to put together a little agenda. Next week, we'll be talking about how you can invest for your children. We got holidays coming up. And so hopefully we can encourage some people to not just buy toys, but set their kids up to to some financial success. And then we're going to get into brokerage accounts. That's one of the main questions we get all of the time. Who should I go with? And so we'll be talking about brokerage accounts. And so to kind of touch your question a little bit, Vashawn, it depends on what type of investor you're going to be. When I say that, do you want someone are you looking to manage your own money, or you want someone to manage your money? So if you're looking to manage your own money, then you're going to, go with a discount broker. And one of the best, discount brokers that are out there from a customer service standpoint, from a highly rated standpoint, is TD Ameritrade. If you are looking to let someone else manage your money, then obviously you can go a lot of different places depending on how much money you have to manage. But one of the firms that's highly rated is Charles Schwab. You also got Vanguard, which is it kind of gives you those low costs. And if you so those are some things that you may want to consider. I can throw out. Obviously, you have a lot of other ones out there, from E-Trade to Scottrade to Ameritrade, but those are a few that we'll be talking about all of them. Not necessarily all the pros and cons, but just trying to give some logistics around them. Because my firm belief is that it's just like picking a bank. How much do you really consider when you're looking at a bank account, a checking account or savings account? And you can always switch. So, but we'll go further into that in about 3 weeks. We'll really start talking about brokerage accounts and really try to help people, especially those that are just getting started or haven't started, and really like, man, this is a lot of information. We're going to try to help in that way as well. So, Paris, you're the one with the MRO question. Did that help? Was there something that we need? I mean, we don't always cover everything, but hopefully you got a little bit of information there that could help you out. If you're still there. So today, I'll let you type. I know you're probably typing. So today, we put out CMG, which is a Chipotle. And so we're going to talk about that next. It's a pretty hot stock to discuss. And this is going to be very hard because there's a lot of different ways you can go with Chipotle. And this is going to be very interesting to talk about. I want you guys' thoughts on it as well. And again, let me change my topic here. We're talking about Chipotle now. Chipotle, CMG. Hold on, let me see here if I can. Watch out now. You guys got to excuse me. This new technology, man. All right, now let's see. Change the topic.
There we go.
All right. So look at that. Boom. And then you can just post a tweet. Okay, cool. Rob, you are a Blab expert, brother. Let's see if I can. I don't know if I can. I'm trying to. Anyway. Use a hashtag. Oh, really? Oh, for Twitter. That's right. I'm supposed to use a hashtag. My bad. Let me do that again. Let me try it again. Y'all messing me up. All right, cool. There we go. Hashtag.
Got it.
All right. Anyway, so Chipotle, very interesting. This is a stock that we got some news on very recently. Use your own hashtag. Oh, like ERGJ, I can do that. Oh, that's cool. That got its has some E. coli breakout in their stores, and they closed like 46, 43 stores or something like that, until they can figure that stuff out. I believe on today's Tuesday. Yeah, Monday. What I saw was very interesting. They were trading at about 640 a share, and then they opened at 608, which means that basically pre-market was sold off. But here's the interesting thing, guys, is that they opened at 608 and they actually closed at 625. So if you were like, hey, I'm a short Chipotle Monday morning, you got in and you started shorting them, well, you might have lost some money because they actually they were shorted. They went short, but all the shorting happened pre-market, and by the time the market opened and to the public, they were back up to 625. So if you actually played the reverse, you probably would have made some money that day if you're a day trader. But I found it interesting looking at Chipotle, and if we look at it, what happened today with Chipotle, which is CMG, they closed today at 623. So they literally, started at 640 Monday morning. Pre-market dropped down to 608 or 610, jumped back up to 625, and today they basically traded flat. Lost 84 cents or something like that. Yeah, she's we're getting on the Boyce Watkins thing at 9:30. That's why I had to change the time. So we really want to talk about what are we seeing with Chipotle. So I think this is going to be a very interesting conversation for you guys that have some insight on Chipotle or any thoughts on it. Go ahead and type in what are your thoughts on Chipotle, and if you want to talk about it short term, just put ST on it. So we know you're talking about short term. If you want to talk long term, just put LT on it. So we can get your thoughts on what are your thoughts on Chipotle. That's a good question. How do I interpret the price? Well, it didn't really go up. It's just that before the public can really get into a position, all of the big institutions, the private investors are making things happen before and after the bell, so to speak. So it went down to 608, but the reality is when it was open to the public, it went up. But overall, from close to close, it was down, $15 or something like that. So we got Centera. Who's this? Centera saying that think it'll take a dip a bit in the short term, but long term, think it'll bounce back. Anyone got any other thoughts?
Yeah, for me, I think if it goes up under 600, if it go past that phase, it's gonna be in a little down.
So long term, you be a buyer, fantastic. Sell off, maybe. So we got some people saying sell off. Do you think a restaurant known for burritos can maintain longevity of a McDonald's? Absolutely. Who doesn't like Mexican food? Matter of fact, every Mexican restaurant that opens up, it has a big splash. So yeah, I could think it maintain. I think because Mexican food is it's pretty quick. Burritos are pretty quick to make. Taco Bell. But then also it's its own genre of food. So if I would say that they are the top of the food chain as it relates to fast Mexican cuisine. I think it can stay around. As a matter of fact, Chipotle hasn't even hasn't reached their growth potential yet. They still got a lot of territory that they could be covering with as they grow and they expand to different markets. So for people that believe their food is good, their service is good, for people who believe in Chipotle, I think it's going to be a relative bargain from here on out the next couple of months. So when you say you think it's going to be a bargain, are you saying that right now at 625, you believe it's a bargain? So this is a good question, guys. So as we're looking at, are you guys, when you guys are making some of these, thoughts or these opinions, are you just making your opinion based off of what Chipotle has done, or are you really looking at, what are you really using to kind of to kind of determine. So why do you think it'll go down a little bit more? I like to get it go. I like it to go down some farther so you can buy some. It depends a lot on the economy. Why do you say it depends on the economy? Do people stop eating when the economy is bad? Okay. So E. coli, yeah, so okay, so the economy, yeah, people will forget the E. coli news. I don't think so.
Yeah,
I think it's
at some
already,
point.
if it were going to go down because of E. coli, it'd still be dropping right now, right?
Right.
So that might already be priced in. Now we won't really see that until maybe the earnings come out, and if we see that it took a big hit from an earnings standpoint with having their 43 stores closed for whatever length of time, then that might be something to consider if you are a person that plays earnings. So yeah, it's not the first time we've had any stores or any companies. So it's interesting when I was looking at this chart, man. What I found. Obviously, it's trading below its 50-day moving average right now. But also what I found to be interesting is that there's a lot of money that's going out of Chipotle. When I look at the MACD, man, the MACD has had lower highs and lower lows, which tells me that it is setting itself up for a downtrend, even though it's actually been kind of moving upward sideways for quite a while. But that normally gives the indication that money is moving out and that well, I can't tell you whether you should short it or not. I can just tell you what I'm seeing and what I believe. Whether you want to short it or not, it's your choice. But when I'm looking at the MACD, I'm like, well, wow, why is it that that the momentum of this stock seems to be going, it seems to be going out of it. So you should short it and then start rumors. So I found this to be very interesting. Obviously, we've seen Chipotle kind of take a downturn recently, but as Zoe said, its support level right now is right at about 600. So we're really trying to see whether it's going to bounce from this. Now, when we say bounce, it's probably going to bounce off of this 600, but where is it going to hold at? So once it bounces from 600 and say, okay, well, we're going to test this support level. When it comes back, where is it going to come back to? Because we really haven't seen, we're talking about probably 650 is the next resistance level for it. But that's a big wide spread between 600 and 650, especially when we think about we were just trading at 750 a few months ago. So we see that not only from the MACD has their momentum been going against Chipotle, but we're starting to see even before the E. coli news, we've been starting to see kind of a sell-off in Chipotle. So how long has it been weakening? I
think around probably August.
Yeah, around August was the last. What was I looking at last time? Let me go to my other screen. Pull it Chipotle. Oh, I was looking at the other chart. Yeah, I'm going to stock chart. So yeah, I'm pulling that up for you right now, man. So I found it to be very interesting because we see here, around August of actually, not even August of this year, August of last year, from a weekly standpoint, man, we were trading. We can even go far back as when I start looking at this chart from December of 2013. I see a high as far as its momentum is concerned. It's been trading above zero on the MACD for a while, so we've seen it move up. But we just saw in June or July this year that it started trading below zero on its MACD, and now we're seeing it start to come back to below zero based off, I guess you could say, the E. coli news or something like that. But all along this trail, we've been seeing a downward trend as far as the momentum, lower highs and lower lows for the MACD. I had similar.
Yeah, from a daily standpoint, August does look like one of those downtrends of the MACDs. Also, things started. It started in March when we had a big downturn. But then, like you said, that downturn in August of last year is also displaying itself on one of my settings. So just depends on how you want to actually look at it. But yeah, all those time frames are.
So we kind of make that kind of look a little wise. We see a RSI that's trading at 34, saying that it's a little bit on the oversold. So it gives me the impression that it's going to bounce off of this 600 support. But I still believe that it has some downward pressure. We also see, if we look at the 50-day moving average, we see that starting to flatten out. So whereas before it was a steep uprise on the trend level, it's starting to now curve and become a little flat. And so that's why I'm under belief that it's going to really seriously be testing this support. And again, as Zoe said, if we should break this support, man, we could be in for a long haul all the way back down to the 200-day moving average, about 525 on Chipotle. That's just what I'm getting from the indicators that I'm looking at. In other words, what I'm saying is I'm not of the belief that I'd be going long on Chipotle right now. I like to see what happens when it bounces off its support level, to see where it actually tests, and then kind of make a determination on, okay, well, where do I really believe that this thing is going? It could do a sideways consolidation and then bounce back up, which I don't really see until I can see more volume coming back into Chipotle. But at this point, I'm starting to see a little bit more downside risk than upside potential with where we sit at right now. Now that could change, of course, once we get to the next quarter of earnings. That could kill it, because we got 43 stores that are closed right now. That might be built into their estimates, but it could bomb then, and then we could really be looking at a sell-off as well. We've already started to see a sell-off, so I'm very interested in watching this stock for the next 3 months. Not necessarily making a play, but really determining where I would make a play if I were to take a position in Chipotle. So we got a couple questions. Yeah, people did make a lot of money on baby. Question: what is the best stock to own under 25? That's a very difficult question to answer. There's a ton of stocks under 25. To find the best one, I guess that kind of we would need to. There is no best. There's a lot of ways you can make money in the stock market. There are a lot of companies that you can make money from as well. So to say what's the best stock to own, I think if everybody on this phone knew that, then we wouldn't be on this call. We'd be.
Or do you have an idea of what that stock is? Give us some input too, because I like to look at it and probably add it to my portfolio.
So, Boss JD, are you looking? Obviously, you're looking under 25. You're looking for some low cost opportunities. Yeah. Are you looking at anything particular that we can take a look at with you or for you, or are you just kind of randomly kind of throwing a question, throwing a question out that we can respond to? I'm not quite sure. I'd love to answer that. But there are over 10,000 stocks to be looking at. So to say what's the best one is kind of hard to answer. So Carly said, "Oh, hot." Well, yeah. So we can definitely do a segment on hot stocks under 25. We definitely didn't come into this call saying, "Hey, let's look at some hot stocks under 25." It gives us something to think about though for one of our next segments when we get back together. So thanks for that. That's a good idea. So we might have what's the hot stocks under 25, man. We definitely could put something like that together. Okay. and kind of talk about that. So Sonia asked, when you do your fundamental analysis, are you looking at book value, PE ratio, et cetera? Which businesses measure do you assess? Well, kind of all of them. I start with PE ratios. I don't really start. I start with profitability, and then I go into the PE ratios. That's me from my flow. But you really want to kind of look at all of it. How's the asset trading as it relates to its own PE ratio and the market and its sector, or its industry? That's one thing you kind of want. Look at this. Come on in. We finally got a new person in the hot seat. Book value. Book value, kind of what that tells you is, if the company was to go out of business or to sell off its assets right now, would it owe, or would it have assets available to pay people off? So that kind of gives you an idea as far as what book value kind of tells you if they've been operating well and continue to have good fundamentals. So yeah, but kind of look at all of it, and I kind of relate that to what is it doing as it relates to its own sector, and what is it doing as it relates to the market. That then goes back into really the whole top-down approach to fundamental analysis, and that's something that we talked about in Stock Market 101. So if you're on this call and you haven't gone through Stock Market 101, we can definitely make that available for you. Those are some things that we discuss, and we actually are going to be having a fundamental. We're going to have 2 classes coming up soon. One is going to be, we're going to redo Stock Market 102, which is technical analysis, and that's with me and Zoe. Zoe does a lot of the technical analysis, and then we're actually going to be having our first class on fundamental analysis. And the fundamental analysis class is pretty vast, so we're going to start slow and work our way up because you can't really fit it all into one class. So yeah, so if you are here and you have not bought your first stock, have not taken Stock Market Class 101, you need to take that because a lot of the things that you probably want to know, what we did, we took all the questions from everybody in our big group. They asked the same questions over and over again, and we created a class for it. We talk about brokerage accounts. We talk about how to buy your first stock. We talk about technical fundamental analysis, sentimental analysis, which people didn't even know was a thing. So if you haven't taken that class and you are in a position where you haven't really started to invest, that will be a great resource for you to, take and to do. So yes, I do have a website available. There's my website. You can find me on Facebook as well. Find me on Twitter. As soon as I can find this class, I'll put it into the thing as well. Zoe, you can talk for a minute while I find this thing.
All right, and at New Image Tech, I'm assuming you was saying if you guys on Chipotle, if you didn't get into the ride back in July, then you're saying you're missing that uptrend, because like we say, we don't know exactly if it's going to bounce off this 600 or if it's going to actually go down more. There's a possibility it can go back down to 500 $500. So it's just, we're just waiting to see. Yeah, that is correct.
Missing something. I'm sorry. I'm still
here.
He
was just referring to the class, to the price of the class, and so forth.
The price of the class is it's $50 now for the class, and I'm about to put a link to it right now.
Yep.
Here we go.
So guys, I want to thank you guys once again for joining us on this Ticker Tuesday. Hope you guys, have fun and so forth, as we always do. You guys know if you can always hit me on the Twitter at Zoe. I guess it's the top left, top right, whichever one it is, how it's displaying. You guys can find me at www.newlevelfinancialgroup.com. You guys can also find me on Facebook, Zoe Sapp, or a New Level Financial Group.
Yeah, so guys, again, this is ERDJ, the Intelligent Investor. ERDJ Enterprises is my company. I'm a finance and personal finance coach. I do these classes as well to help those really start to take control of their own money. The way that I got started was, I found in corporate America that many employees, they knew nothing about their 401k. So that really got me into the whole financial sector. And that's what one of the first services that I started was to teach people about their 401k. And then obviously that led me into the stock market. And then we started going from there. So so you can find me www.erdj.net. I just put in my Facebook, Twitter handle as well, ERDJ Enterprise, and then also above me, if you want to follow me, you can do that as well. So we put in the Stock Market 101. If you guys are interested in that, you can just click that link. It's register, pay, and play. You can register, you can pay, and then you can take it as your own. You can take it whenever you want to because it's available to you on your phone or on your PC whenever you want to take it. And it's available to you all the time. So I tell people, share it with your family, but don't share it with your friends because, your friends actually should pay for that information as well. But feel free to share it with your family because we want your family to be a part of what you're doing also. And so Rob said that if you think that education is expensive, try seeing how expensive ignorance is. Really, Rob, you're a good man. You're gonna have to jump in the hot seat with us one time. Spy Gadget is coming back. We're about to end this thing out. So I appreciate you coming back in, but we're about to end this thing out. So guys, we'll be back next Tuesday. And what we're going to do, we're going to talk about investing. One of the things we'll talk about is investing for your children, how you can do that, how you can get them started at an early age. A lot of the people that you see now, for example, Warren Buffett, he started investing when he was 11 years old. And people are like, well, hey, really? Did he? Yeah, he did. But his parents got him started early. Obviously, he was a businessman earlier as well. But you have the same opportunity to get your children started at the age of 1. And you think about it, that's just really just long-term investing for them so that when they turn 18, they may have some money available to them at some point, whatever it's grown to. You really want to give them time. Time is on their side, and that's really what it's all about. So, we'll be back here. I'm going to actually keep it at the same time. We're going to do it on Tuesdays at 8 o'clock. That's when we'll meet. I won't change up the time too much because people get confused. And we'll do it Tuesdays at 8 o'clock. And so follow us. Be on the lookout on Facebook or Twitter, wherever it is that you found us, so that you can be a part of this conversation. We can keep pushing this envelope forward, and we can start to take control of our own money. Too much financial illiteracy. So for those that don't know, we're jumping on at 9:32. Is she still here? I'm not sure. She's still here. Lynette. We'll be jumping on with Lynette, who's going to be having a conversation with Boyce Watkins, and we're going to be talking about Black wealth. It is what it is. No disrespect to anybody else, but Dr. Boyce Watkins is a Black empowerment professor. So we're actually going to be talking about Black wealth and try and get to hear what he say. Hopefully, I can get in the hot seat. And I can talk to Boyce. I've been waiting on this opportunity. So, so at any rate, guys, but thanks so much for tuning in. We'll talk to you guys next week and have a good night.